Hey guys, this is Anna from Start Abroad, and I'm here today to help you figure out how to move your pets to a new country. Moving your pets internationally has gotten pretty tricky in recent years, so I'm here to talk to you today about why that is, what options do still exist, and what you can do to move your pet in these current challenging times. So there are 3 ways to get your pet on a plane to another country. Option 1. In cabin. This is where you bring your pet onto the plane with you and they are underneath the seat in front of you as you sit through your flight. The challenge with this option, although it's very cheap and easy and generally recommended, is that your pet has to meet very specific restrictions. The first one is weight. Usually your pet plus their carrier can't weigh more than 20 pounds. And then the second is dimensions. So the size of the carrier that your pet is in and the size of your pet itself, that will have to meet certain airline restrictions, and it varies by airline. Option number 2, checked baggage. With this option, your pet will be on the same flight as you, but in the cargo hold of the plane. The way you do this is you book in advance, but then when you get to the airport, you check your pet in at the oversized baggage counter, and the ground transportation crew will load your pet onto your same airplane, usually in a separate cargo hold from where your bags would go, and usually in a cargo hold that is temperature controlled. The pilot of that plane will be able to see that you have a pet on board and will make sure that your pet is comfortable during the flight. It's also nice because maybe, if you're sitting in a window seat, you'll be able to look out the window and see your pet being loaded onto your plane. And option number 3, cargo. Your pet can also fly without you. In order for your pet to be shipped as cargo, you need to work with a freight forwarding company. In your pet's case, this will be a pet relocation company. And if you're working with one of these companies, they will take whatever steps are required to make sure that your pet is flying under safe conditions, also that during any layovers they're getting some care and attention until they get to their final destination, hopefully to meet you in your new country. Why has it become more challenging to relocate pets internationally recently? And what can you do about it? What are your options? The first reason that it's hard right now isn't particularly unique to this year, but it is summer 2022 right now, and there are record-breaking heat waves all around the world. And this is a big issue for your pet, especially if you're trying to ship your pet as checked baggage, so on the same plane as you. Basically, most US-based carriers, airlines, have restrictions on flying pets in the summer. And this can be from May to September through especially hot airports like Phoenix and Las Vegas, but then also will often refuse to fly your pet if the forecasted temperature is going to be 85 degrees Fahrenheit or above. Similar rules apply if it's too cold, so it's usually a no-go to check your pet as baggage if the temperatures are below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Another reason it's challenging, maybe not very surprising, but COVID. Although you may be wondering, how is COVID affecting my pet while they're in the air? Well, COVID essentially led a lot of airlines, both for their checked baggage and their cargo programs, to shut down pet relocation altogether, and a lot of them have not resumed those programs. This is because of the cost, because of the complications, because airlines don't have enough employees these days, a bunch of reasons. But essentially, we have fewer options today to relocate our pets, both for checked bag and for cargo, than we did several years ago. Reason number 3, it's a little challenging right now. There are no more emotional support animals recognized in the US. So, as of January 2021, all US-based carriers will no longer allow emotional support animals in cabin. That means if you want your pet to be on the plane with you, they either have to meet those size and weight restrictions we talked about earlier, or they have to be a registered service animal. What else is going on? So many things. CDC rules have also been changing lately. So there was a period in 2021 where the CDC actually did not allow any dogs into the United States. If you're bringing your dog into the US, this is something to pay close attention to. So at this point, luckily, the CDC has changed the rules to begin to allow dogs to come in from many countries, but they do also have a list of high-risk countries. And if you are coming from that country and bringing a dog, you're going to need to jump through a few extra hoops to get your dog into the United States. And the 5th and final reason why it's a little challenging these days to relocate your pet internationally is restricted breeds. This is nothing new, but it is a significant challenge. Essentially, a lot of airlines don't like flying certain breeds, especially as checked baggage, although sometimes also as cargo. There are a couple of categories that these breeds fall into. The first is snub-nosed. So any breed where there is potentially difficulty with breathing at altitude. This would be dog breeds like pugs or bulldogs, cat breeds like Persians. Often airlines will not allow these breeds on their planes. Another category is dogs with strong jaws. So if there is a risk that a dog could break its way out of its crate on the plane, airlines often won't allow that dog to fly. And then the final category is large dogs. So if your pet is very large, very heavy, sometimes they won't be allowed. So here's the thing about pet relocations in 2022. There are a lot of ways in which you can work around these roadblocks. The first one is if you have a small pet and they're not a restricted breed, you can still take them in cabin. Not a lot has changed with that in terms of the airlines. So you can do this for usually only $100, $200. It's pretty affordable, and it's definitely the easiest way. So if you can do this, we definitely recommend it. You basically can call your airline, book your pet, a ticket for you and your pet, make sure you have an approved carrier, and you're on your way. The next category is if you're okay paying a few $1,000s to relocate your larger pet to a new country, you also have options. There are some great pet relocation companies out there who can take care of your pet. They can fly cargo with those companies, and the pet relocation company can also look after a lot of other things for you. Paperwork, customs and coming into a new country, any other procedures, as well as the transport of your pet. What if your pet is a restricted breed? So this is a little bit more challenging. There are still options out there for you, especially if you have a larger budget. So you can often find charter flights where you can share the cost of the charter flight with other pet owners and fly with your pet and with other pet owners and with their pets to your destination country altogether, sharing the cost. That is always going to be more expensive as an option, but it's out there. So what if you fall into this category that I think a lot of us do, myself included, and you have a larger pet, but you have a smaller budget? So the first piece of advice I would give to those people is to check out Alaska Airlines. They're one of the only US carriers today that is still flying pets as checked baggage, which is more affordable, and they have a really great pet policy. We will be sure to link to that in the description. There are also a number of international airlines that will fly your larger pet as checked baggage. And in these cases, I would recommend to owners just to check out the pet policies of those airlines, as well as keeping an eye on the forecast. And the reason for both of those is that you just want to be sure that your pet, when it comes to being loaded onto the airplane when you're departing, during layover, and then also at the time of arrival when they're being loaded off, that they'll be at a safe temperature. So keep an eye on that forecast, make sure that the temperature is going to be 85 degrees Fahrenheit or less during your journey, and your pet will be in good shape. And remember, if you want any more help navigating this challenging space of moving a pet internationally, Start Abroad is here to help you. We are a concierge relocation company that helps Americans and Canadians move to Costa Rica, Panama, and Portugal. And if you sign up for a concierge package, we will handle all the big gnarly stuff for you. That includes visas, real estate, health insurance, and of course, getting your furry family members to their new home. Thanks so much, guys. See you next time.